Alright, it's Robert with Blue Planet Surf. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about foot placement and then how you can help kind of attach your feet to the board. I get a lot of questions about that. Right now I'm using these EVA foam blocks on my board, but I've tried a lot of different things like foot straps. I've tried these foot hooks, some EVA hooks, modified EVA hooks, but what I'm using now are these EVA blocks that have a little curve to them, and I'm going to go over kind of how I attach them to the board. And I really like the setup I have right now. You know, I've been messing around with this for over a year, so I just wanted to share with you what I've tried, what works for me, what doesn't work for me, and so on. So it's going to be a little bit longer video, but if you're into foiling, you're going to enjoy all the information. If not, if you're not really interested, might as well stop the video right now. All right, you're still here, so we're going to go into a little bit more detail about these foot hooks. Originally, these ones we developed to be used on the tail of the board to kind of have a place to hold on. Like if a wave's coming, you can grab your tail handle like this and hold on to the board. So it has like a kind of a curved front part to it. Kind of looks a little bit like a wave, but it's like a firm EVA material that's pretty rigid but still soft and won't hurt you. So I'm going to show you how I attach those to the board and how I've been liking that. Originally, I like going strapless. I did try foot straps for just the front foot, attaching them to the front and the back foot. But I found that the foot straps kind of limited my foot movement when I've been catching the wave. Also, then I had to like slide my front foot into the strap while I'm catching the wave. And then the back foot, and a lot of times it ended up being slightly off center because my feet weren't all the way in the straps. So for me, I ended up missing a lot of wave drops because I couldn't get my feet in the straps at the right time. And I like to kind of get into the wave early on the foil and kind of pop it up and catch the wave pretty early. So the straps, I didn't love the straps. Maybe I just need more time to get used to them. But so instead of the straps, then next I tried these foot hooks, which this one is from Slingshot, but it's basically kind of half a foot strap and has like a carbon part inside that keeps the shape of it. I've tried those, but I found that they kind of push against my ankle, and it kind of hurt if the foot wasn't just in the right place on there. It didn't really fit that well, and then also it could, like if it was kind of on top of my foot, it would kind of dig in and not be comfortable. So I took those off again. Next thing I tried was these EVA blocks that were kind of cut out for the foot to sit in, and I found the shape wasn't really very comfortable either. So then I modified it. I added some more padding to it and made it more fit better to my foot, and tried that and found it worked a little bit better. But then I tried these EVA blocks, and I'm going to show you how I attach them to my board. And it's really nice, like my foot fits it perfectly in this groove. The front foot and the back foot fits in there, so I can actually lift my board up with my foot, front and back. I can kind of lift up on it, so it's a little bit like the feel of a foot strap. But of course, if you crash, there's no problem getting out of it. Like it doesn't, you can't hurt yourself with these. But at the same time, you get that real secure feeling, like a little bit like when you got your feet in the straps. So I'm going to show you how I set it up. Basically for the location of these foot hooks, I used some photos. You know, I have a camera on my paddle, GoPro camera, so from that I can see kind of exactly where I got my feet placed. And you know, I used to have kind of more of a diagonal stance where the front foot was kind of off to the left, the back foot was a little bit off to the right. And then as I got better, I tried to get more over the center line, which definitely helps you be more balanced when you lean front to back. So but anyways, I was looking at my foot positioning, and I kind of put the front block at the very most front position where my foot ever was, and the back block kind of in the most back position where it was, because you can always keep your foot away from the block. But I find now whenever I'm foiling, I put my foot all the way up against it, and I wedge my feet in there, and I get a really nice responsive feeling to the board, you know, like especially when you're coming off the top of the wave, or you're doing kind of something where you might get slightly off balance. You can kind of wedge your feet in there, gives you a really nice controlled feeling. So the first thing I do, from just finding the position of the front foot on the photo or something like that, I kind of mark the location where I want the front block to be. So I have like a nice front foot position. You know, this one doesn't have any holes in it. So what I want to show you is how to find the screw positions to drill little holes in here, so you can screw it into the foot strap inserts. So I don't have these glued down. It's easy to take them off or remove them or change them around. But I wanted to show you how to place them and how to screw them onto your board.
So first of all, I determined which 3 holes are underneath that foam pad, and I put these little finish nails into the holes sticking out. So that way I can just place the block where I want it, right over those finish nails, and push it down so the nails go into the block, and then when I pull it out, I have the hole positions where I want to drill. So then I got this dowel, 3/4 inch dowel bit, stainless steel screw, and a drill bit that's the right size for the screw. Basically, I just drill those 3 holes out of the block, and then I use the dowel bit, 3/4 inch dowel bit, to kind of countersink the washer and screw head so they don't stick out, so you can't hurt yourself on them. And so you want to make sure when you drill out those deeper holes with the dowel bit not to have it skip when you start. So make sure you start parallel to the surface of the foam, even if you want to angle it after you get started. So a little bit tricky to get a nice clean cut with that. But once I had these holes cut out, the deeper holes, I put the washers in there. And then the screws I had were too long, kind of. This is the insert for the foot strap screws. So it goes about 1 inch into the board. So you really don't want the screws sticking out more than 3/4 of an inch. I used a grinder to just cut off the tips of the screws, so they're all about 3/4 of an inch sticking out at the bottom. And then also by cutting off the heads, the pointy head of the screw, there's no risk of puncturing your board or going through that foot strap insert, which could potentially cause your board to leak. So you want to make sure those screws don't go too deep into your board, basically. And so you could either buy the right length screws or just cut them off like I did with a grinder. So then once you got a position right, you just screw them down. Make them tight, but don't over tighten. And there you go, got a nice fit.
For the back foot, I lined up 2 of the holes. I just have these 2 holes, and then I actually cut this down a little bit. This is the original size, so I just cut it down a little bit, and you can sand this with a power sander or sandpaper. So I shaped it a little bit to fit my back foot better, so I can wedge my back foot right in there. So then this one sits a little bit on an angle from the pad. So to adjust the angle, I also made this edge a little bit less. I took off a little bit of that lip in the front, so I reduced that edge, so it gave me a nice hole in the back without being too bulky. And that's it. That's my hook set up the way I'm using it right now. Give it a go. I think you'll like it. We do have a few of these available at our shop right now that you can get from us, or we're also going to get some more in stock soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.